expecting, you know, maybe a Barraza from the get-go, but I know that Cody Travis has been working on this pick. This pick is getting better and better for every tournament that goes forward. But if Cody Travis starts to, you know, have a little bit of a rough time, I'm definitely expecting that Barraza switch up.
Yeah, Snowy gonna be off stage. Cody gonna be looking for the next hit here, gonna be looking for a bit of a pickup. Okay, Snowy just dashing in and out, gets a neutral, starts up a bit of a juggle.
Very even all throughout so far. Snowy playing very phenomenally with all of these punishes off of the sideline. Such a good punish tool on the axe. Cody Travis starting to fight back a little bit though. No substantial damage so far. Snowy's already getting it to the point where he should start considering trying to get a KO.
Oh, but maybe committing a little bit too much to that side sig there. Now Snowy just going to be looking for a way to be able to catch this landing. Both of them just so patient. Setting up an edge guard, does not actually find the down air in time. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that's going to be Cody going down. Very, very good play by Snowy here. Going to try and hold their ground, build up this damage, get as much value from this stock as possible. Against Cody Travis's blasters though, I fear that your stock might be cut to short, Snowy.
It's Snowy now just has to be so patient getting back onto the stage. I love the gauntlet toss there. You know, just really mixing up Cody. Just being so patient. That was a phenomenal dodge. Tries to get the chase down into the down and is not going to be able to get it quite yet. But finally, Cody is going to be able to find the KO confirm. Just whiffing a whole bunch of moves until it mattered the most. They're able to seal it off. And honestly, the damage difference is basically non-existent.
The damage difference is absolutely non-existent. Cody Travis, you know, on the blasters could be able to even that out very, very well with these blasters.
Okay, Snowy, I like the fact that like Snowy is like really mixing up some of the timings, right? Able to find the neutral there, not able to get a follow-up immediately, and all of these gauntlet tosses are so solid, Polly. They're just able to break so much space so effectively and really just throw Cody off of the rhythm.
For sure. We could be seeing a KO coming out at any moment though. Obviously with Rayman, you have all of those wonderful signatures on the axe as well. Cody Travis, though, being a Barraza player, isn't going to fall for a lot of those options. Recovery, though, the fidget spinner, Helicopeter, that covers a lot of area.
Absolutely. Now Snowy going to be occupying the ground a little bit, just denying Cody of any weapons right now. They're just trying to desperately land at this point. They need to get something started, but Snowy is just making them so uncomfortable for so long already. Going to be whiffing that GC sidelight, though. Just giving Cody a bit of a window, but no KOs quite yet.
Yeah, Snowy just turned on a switch or something. I've seen Snowy do 5 weapon throws in a row, and end lights dare. Snowy is going absolute ballistic, keeping this pressure up, and Cody Travis is starting to get very uncomfortable because of that.
Okay, tries to go for a bit of a jump call out that time around. Excellent pickups with the neutral. And again, these gauntlet tosses from Snowy. They're able to get so much chip damage, but more importantly, it gives Snowy the ability to continue advantage, to break space, to win neutral over and over again. They're just so tricky with it, and Cody has just not found an answer to it.
Probably trying to pull Cody Travis off stage as fast as possible. No, actually going to be missing those gauntlets. Going over to the axe now, trying to find any option. Very, very patient so far. Both of these players maneuvering very well, trying to avoid all of the options. Cody Travis pushing Snowy off stage though, messing up the punish for that GCN sig. That could have been very, very important for Cody Travis, getting that stock off of Snowy.
I don't know if that was intentional. Maybe Cody wanted to go down there, like all for like a down air, and then just ended up getting stuck on the platform. But now all of a sudden, Snowy needs to make it back on once again. Those gauntlet tosses, Polly, I am telling you over and over again, Snowy is just able to get out of some of the worst predicaments. But finally, Cody is able to take that second stock. It is now last stocks each, but Snowy just needs 1 KO confirm, 1 downlight, 1 recovery even.
Yeah, and we've been talking about Snowy's momentum and Snowy's pressure. Don't underestimate Cody Travis on those blasters, man. I feel like there's still very, very good possibility that Cody Travis can pull this one back, and it looks like he is trying to. Getting Snowy all the way down in yellow so far, playing very patiently on these blasters, going for all of the follow-ups that they can go for, trying to keep the pressure up, the positional pressure. He's putting up a really good effort.
Putting up a really good effort, actually still going to be living that recovery there. Now Snowy going to be dashing in, looking for the next possible opportunity. Cody is putting up a fight. Cody is not done quite yet, and Snowy is a little bit lost on how to get this KO. The Neutralite is not going to be able to do it, but now you're off stage against Gauntlets. This is such a nasty place to be in.
That was so close, and like that should be it. No, Cody Travis just does not want to go down. But a weapon throw, trigonometry calculated. Snow is going to be taking down Cody Travis, and oh boy, I have something to talk about. Snowy, did you see how Snowy stuck to Cody Travis like a magnet throughout that last set? Yeah. Snowy was making Cody Travis so nervous.
Yeah, for sure. Cody Travis just really seemed like they were unable to deal with the pressure at some points. But again, I really want to talk about those weapon tosses, Polly, because Snowy was just so, like, versatile with it, right? Using it to be able to come back onto the stage, using it to gently get space against Cody Travis, using it to be able to continue advantage states. And the way that Snowy was also, like, denying Cody of weapons was just so solid all the way around. So hopefully Game 2 is going to be a little bit different for Cody here. You know, there's still Cody Travis, so anything is possible at this point. But Snowy, phenomenal, you know, string already, putting on a good amount of damage.
Yeah, for sure, and I think, you know, Snowy, definitely at this point known as kind of the pioneer of showing everyone what weapon throws are truly capable of. I love that he's still putting up that energy, using them to his advantage. Cody, so far, this has been a fairly evened out set. Since Cody Travis is also an advantage here, we could be seeing this get evened out even further, but Snowy is going to be able to get back up pretty much undamaged from that.
Snowy just came back onto the stage so gently. That was beautiful stuff. Now, Cody Travis going to be off stage. That weapon spawn for Snowy, so clutch, kind of a little bit unfair for Cody, I'm not going to lie. They were able to get gauntlets immediately, but you know what? They toss everything away, pick up gauntlets once again. Going to be looking for a bit of a pickup. Love the weapon toss. Now Snowy just needs one more hit to be able to take this. But honestly, Cody with the orb, they just need a side light. They just need a falling sail, anything.
For sure. Very, very even out so far. You can see Snowy is trying to be very, very patient, putting good use for that unarmed Sarah as well, knocking Cody away to set up a situation where they can go for that ground pound. Beautiful KO by Snowy. Very patient stock so far. Very, very back and forth. I feel like Cody Travis really... Cody Travis showing what he's made of at this point. Cody Travis is putting up a very more even fight here in the beginning.
Polly, Snowy's movement was so solid. Using the chase dodge instead of actually going in on Cody resetting to be able to pick up a weapon. I thought that was just like so funny in that moment. But now Snowy's stuck off stage. But that was so amazing, just coming back on at the perfect moment. Snowy gonna be looking through the sidelight. That is gonna be the spike. Is that enough to KO? Yes, it will be. Now Cody evening up the stock count at yellow. But when you got blasters, you have so much combo potential. You just got to get something started. Cody looking for a downer, looking for a sail, anything.
Yeah, and especially, you know, never underestimate Cody Travis's blasters, man. He can turn the tide of battle whenever, like, just at any point, really. And you can see really starting to do so. He did actually. He did turn the tide of battle because he's somehow in the lead, out of nowhere, popping off on these blasters.
Blaster combos, Polly. Cody's damage output was looking phenomenal. Phenomenal Sailor now has Cody off stage. Okay, gonna be coming back on. Looking for something cute.
Oh
able to get it. That will be the KO confirm. Amazing execution. Wow.
It's like the amount of hits that Cody Travis gets on blasters is exponential. It's like for every single hit Cody Travis gets, he gets a little bit more powerful and is just able to pop off even harder. And Snowy is struggling to respond to that, trying to use these weapon throws to break into neutral, but Cody Travis is not making any spacing errors. Yeah,
Cody's also just like really exploiting how many hitboxes per second you can kind of put out with blasters, especially like that last situation. Polly, that chase dodge was everything. Able to get the sail and then using the chase dodge to get back on. I don't think Cody could have made it on otherwise. Oh my goodness.
Still doing their best to build as much damage as possible, get their value out of this stock. Swapping over to the orb here might have a better time. Snowy is struggling to get this stock down, really. They're going for it. You see the GCD lights coming out. Those are wonderful options to KO if you're hitting them. But Cody Travis is doing such a good job at outspacing all of them. Finally gets the ground pound off the right side. That's going to even out the game, but Snowy is so far behind.
Yeah, Snowy has a lot of damage to make up. Cody just slowing down the pace of the match. Doesn't have to force anything, doesn't have to rush at this point. You have this big of a lead, you just gotta wait for one good weapon spawn before you can go in again. They're kind of favoring Snowy at this point. They are favoring Snowy at this point until Cody is finally able to get a little something. Now the question is, can Cody get something started?
Barely undamaged. barely undamaged at this point, basically coming out from Cody, using all of this range. See, Snowy is playing super patiently against Blasters, which works to an extent, but Blasters is going to be able to outrange you. All of these Sears coming out, tries to go for another one. I'm smelling Sears. This is Sear City right now for Cody Travis. There's another one. That's going to KO, putting this set to 1-1. That was just a demonstration by Cody Travis. This is how you're supposed to play Blasters.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I do think there was maybe like a little bit of antsiness on Snowy's behalf. There was like, you know, a moment where some of Snowy's movement was like super telegraphed, like drifting all the way in from off stage to be able to land onto the platform. Cody was able to get the landing call out, and then another time where Snowy just basically air dodged directly in towards the stage. Cody just sat there, waited, and punished on reaction. So Snowy, just, you gotta be a little bit more ambiguous with some of your recovery options, but Cody was just on top of it.
And you can see, I mean, I don't know what makes me say this, but I have a gut feeling. I have a gut feeling just looking at Cody. Cody is feeling good right now. Cody, his motivation is through the roof. Their options are looking so solid, so confident, and Snowy is starting to really get, you know, put off by this new rhythm that Cody Travis is bringing to the table.
Polly, these juggles are looking phenomenal. These strings, all of this damage output. Cody not able to get the neutral, has the stage spike, coming back on, not able to find the second one. Snowy just getting in between the blaster and the hitbox in that little bit of a dead zone, a little bit of a blind spot, and wow.
Bro, those are some, okay man, Snowy going crazy on that axe. That's some blaze tech right there coming out. All of those strings in quick succession. Cody Travis, that's going to make them very, very damaged. Now looking for the KO, going to get it with the side sig. Beautiful stock by Snowy. We mentioned that Cody Travis was looking solid. Snowy shut him down.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, gonna be looking for recovery. Now gauntlets on hand, neutral into the diagonal down weapon throw. Snowy, absolutely absurd with some of these follow-ups, but now stuck off stage. Cody finding the GC downlight into the ground pound, says this one didn't KO, maybe this one will. Wow.
Cody just going absolutely crazy on the unarmed, huge commitments. A single mistake there and Snowy could have made a massive reverse onto Cody, which is exactly why Snowy didn't expect that to happen. Who would do that when they're on a fresh stock? Cody is going to, and Cody is going to make it work. Now, back to completely even out. We have seen Cody have a slight edge in these situations, but Snowy's here to prove us otherwise, taking him all the way down to orange already.
Well, Cody's spacing has just like tightened up so much, but now the question is, can you actually avoid some of Snowy's lethality? That was a really good dash back in. Gonna be looking for this next hit. Both of them are just so patient here, but tossing away a weapon like that, good call out on the jump with the neutralite. Snowy gonna be looking for the neutralite right now, but Cody is just keeping and zoning Snowy away.
Trying to get any form of offstage started or get any of these D-lights. Gets an N-light that's going to get an offstage started. Tries to go for the recovery. Misses it. Covers up with the Sair. This is a beautiful opportunity, but Snowy just barely missing it. That's going to give Cody an opportunity to reset, and they're going to make good use of that opportunity.
Okay, dashing back, that's a neutral. Tries to go for the recovery pickup. That would have been able to KO. Now Snowy is left weaponless. Does not matter. Still finds the recovery. Sets up another really good offstage. And there it is again. Those weapon tosses, Polly. It's all about those. Not enough damage on Cody to actually KO off that, though.
Managed to successfully get back to the stage. Snowy going for another weapon throw.
Wow.
Man, I feel like Snowy at this point, Snowy is so good at using weapon throws that, you know, obviously when you try and learn a new technique, right, or trying to change your playstyle, like, oh, okay, I want to learn how to use a lot more weapon throws, then you're going to have a lot of situations where you're going to be unarmed. That really shows, because Snowy's unarmed is crazy. Snowy's unarmed is better than some people's main weapons.
Absolutely. I wouldn't even just say some people's. I would say a lot of people's. This is Snowy we're talking about. They're just occupying the stage right now. So aggressive, so bold. Gauntlets in hand once again. Okay, gonna be looking for the neutral here, trying to get a little something going. But Polly, you're so right. If you're gonna be so aggressive with your weapon tosses, you better be good at unarmed. And Snowy is just showing that off to the best of their ability.
Yeah, we're seeing again a very, very patient last bit of this game. Cody Travis trying to make the most amount of use on this stock as possible. Snow is trying to shut him down. Cody does so in reverse this time around, getting all of these punishes. Snowy is unable to get any sort of good axe string started. The GC sidelight recovery coming out from Cody. Not going for a Sair, but a recovery instead. I don't know if I've seen that on Orbit before.
I feel like it's just like a little bit more of a consistent hitbox, right? A little bit more active and also like more generous covering your whole body like that. I definitely like the idea. But now all of a sudden, Polly, the damage has completely evened up again. Snowy has just not been able to get in for so long. Cody's spacing is immaculate. Do you see how they're just like keeping this bubble around them? Snowy finally able to break into it. The question is, will they be able to keep it up?
We're seeing a lot of back and forth here. Cody Travis not really able to dominate the space like he has been before. I feel like really both of these players strong at points. Cody Travis is able to, you know, get a lot of momentum, get a lot of pressure. Meanwhile, whenever Snowy does get like one opportunity, they're able to maximize off of that extremely well. So if Snowy's able to get it, I don't doubt that we could be a KO coming out at any moment here.
Oh my goodness,
that could be
Snowy. This could be so huge. Now Snowy gonna be off stage, not rushing to get the weapon, right? Gets the hit, that's the opportunity. Both of them slowing down the pace of the match to a bit of a halt here. Snowy tossing away the weapon once again, but we've established how Snowy without a weapon, totally fine. Look at this. GC downlight into the recovery. Snowy's playing so well.
For sure, going to be keeping the weapon Starve alive as well. I'm smelling a sideline or a recovery. Wow. There we go. Snowy taking this to 2-1 for game 4 with almost 677 damage. They had a hard time getting those KOs, but oh man, it was so good.
I want everybody to do this. When this VOD, you know, gets like posted, I want everybody to just pause and look where Snowy kept on positioning themselves to be able to jump in on Cody Travis. Snowy kept on going in on Cody's blind spot, which is just in the vertical diagonals. So just at jump height, Cody Travis was not able to catch any landings with some of the grounded options, and it was a little bit too low to the ground for like jump cell to immediately come out. As a result, Snowy was able to get jumpin' after jumpin' after jumpin'. Snowy's positioning that game to be able to find so many ins like that was honestly beautiful. And they just did such an amazing job of getting in on Cody's zoning. Cody's zoning, nothing to sneeze at all. They kept Snowy away for so long, but as soon as Snowy positioned themselves in that upwards diagonal spot, in that, you know, like slightly above ground, Snowy was able to find opening after opening.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe Snowy's playstyle is a little bit of a kryptonite for Cody Travis, because as you mentioned, the zoning, trying to keep the distance, you wanna keep the enemy away with a 6-foot pull when you're playing blasters, because you don't really have stacked options that are that good. You have the jump there, which is, you know, very strong, but you would rather be using those sidelines to your advantage, trying to keep them away with the stairs. The reason I think Snowy might be a little bit of a kryptonite playstyle is because of those weapon throws. Like, your weapon is not going to be in a danger to a blasters with a lot of range, because you are not at all in a danger when it's your weapon flying across the screen.
Polly, neutral is just a conversation, okay? And a weapon toss is like an air horn in your ears. It's just so dissonant in that moment. Now, you might think that's a good analogy, but I stole that from Skiff. God bless Skiff, man. But, oh, man, we're going to be jumping into the next game. We're not going to be seeing any switch-ups. Polly, this is a heck of a set. I'm really glad I get to be able to cast this one with you.
Yeah. It's looking super, super even. Both of these players are so neck and neck going up against each other. This early in the bracket, we definitely have a very entertaining set in front of us. Cody Travis is going to need to win this game to bring this to game 5, put it to the match points. 2 games to win it. Meanwhile, this is the only one Snowy needs. This is it for Snowy.
Okay, getting a couple of sidelines here, just backing off a little bit. Snowy just dashing back and forth. Phenomenal jump call out. Now Snowy on the axe a little bit more. We see Snowy so well with gauntlets and especially unarmed, but putting in so much work there.
Okay, super even so far. Cody Travis trying to push Snowy away onto that left side of the screen, but Snowy, again, this movement is looking so solid.
That was the adaptation. The jump down like that was confidence from Cody. Oh my goodness, not going to be able to find the KO off of that. But Cody is now adapting to the space that Snowy is occupying. Snowy, though, going to be getting the jump call out that time around. Polly, there's so many small things about the positioning that just keep on switching up.
Yeah, and you know, I'm gonna try and read a little bit in between the lines here. Now, Snowy took quite a long time locking in their legend, and they decided to go for Rayman again, obviously. I feel like maybe Snowy was thinking. Maybe Snowy was like, okay, I'm very, very close. what things have I done that have worked so far to beat Cody, and what things weren't working. Trying to really assess the set, assess the situation, and start really coming back, because when you're playing a set like this, you're your own coach, and you need to figure out what you gotta do.
Or alternatively, the microwave also beeped and they had to get the pizza rolls out of things. So either one of those is applicable. Cody is going to be able to find the spike into the weapon toss. That was beautiful stuff. And now this game is as even as it could be. Both of them completely in the white. And there it is again. Those weapon tosses so difficult to react to.
Cody Travis remaining very patient here, trying to use these far-reaching aerials to try and knock Snowy away from them. Beautiful sidelights there coming out. Really, here you go. Cody Travis just... Whenever Cody Travis gets one hit, it makes him a little bit more powerful, and he's able to go for 3 more. I don't know how he does it. That's always how he gets his damage.
Look at where, once again, Snowy's positioning themselves whenever they're back at neutral. Cody, though, going to be landing with the downer. Tries to go through the recovery, not going to be able to find it. No whiff punish from Snowy, not able to get there in time. Cody, though, whiffing that downer, just giving a big window of opportunity here. They're just exchanging hits after hits. This game is so absolutely even.
It definitely is even. Snowy now going over to the... I was gonna say going over to the gauntlets, but Snowy just showed me, with this many weapon throws, can you really trust what weapon I'm gonna be on?
Oh, and that was like one of the first things that Cody threw out that entire game, just completely catching Snowy off guard. I was about to say how both of them are like so patient. Nobody's like committing to Sigs too much, and then Cody at the best possible moment threw one out, mixed up Snowy, now has a massive lead and is building it up even more.
For sure, it's all about just surprising your enemy in the most creative ways you can think of. Snowy, good Sears coming out, gonna try and get the KO here. Weapon throw, not gonna work out. Cody Travis with the Sig as a movement option, going to recover against the Snowy's gauntlets, able to recover back to the stage, just barely. Cody's still on the edge.
I have never recovered against gauntlets a day in my life. I simply get thrown into the blast zone, and the fact that Cody was able to make it back from the depths of hell like that is quite a statement in of itself. Snowy once again with axe on hand. Those weapon tosses super clutch. Not able to pick it up in time though. They need to get this KO ASAP, and Cody is catching on to this antsiness. Wow.
Good side say coming out. This could be Snowy stock going down at any moment. No movement options. That's going to be it. Cody Travis is bringing it to a game 5. These players are so neck and neck, Dara. You have absolutely no idea what's going to happen at any point whatsoever.
Polly, I feel like the biggest thing to keep in mind, especially when it comes to weapon denial, is that you have 3 options. 1, you let them pick up a weapon and you reset neutral. 2, you try to deny them of weapons and, you know what, in the process maybe give up a little bit of stage. Or 3, what Cody Travis did best is try to punish the actual weapon grab themselves. Because you know what rough position they're going to be in. Cody waited for it, waited for Snowy to pick it up, and then was able to set up that edge guard. I am so glad this is going to a game 5 because I have no clue who is going to win this.
Yeah, Snowy also tuned down on their weapon throws, not too much. Snowy obviously still utilizing those weapon throws a lot, but not as much as we were seeing in the first couple of games. Maybe that trick doesn't really work too much because of what you mentioned. It's going to be interesting to see what these players are going to be switching up. It looks like Snowy is switching up what kind of damage output they want, because they're going crazy on Cody at the moment.
They're catching all of these dodges over and over. Cody trying to come back in here, not able to get the jump call out now. Both of them are swinging. No more patient gameplay because everybody is here and they are ready to fight Polly. Wow.
Good GCN light. This could be the KO. D-Sig. Oh, that was a perfect round pound or Sarah opportunity, but Snowy going for the D-Sig instead, hoping that that was going to work. Cody Travis is going to be able to recover after that. That's a beautiful opportunity for them to try and get some additional damage before this stock is lost. Maybe even being able to turn it around. They're on the blasters. You're able to control a lot of neutral. I have a lot of faith in this stock coming up from Cody Travis.
And again, that's horizontal weapon toss from Snowy, super solid. Actually going to be neutral, lighting into the wrong direction there. Now Snowy needs a way to be able to make it back onto the stage, slowing it down. Super patient. 2 exclamation marks, it's go time. And it is recovery time. There has not been a stock sent flying quite yet, Polly. This is anybody's game still.
Like I mentioned, Cody is doing an amazing job at keeping the stock going, able to get Snowy all the way down in red. They weren't able to get that KO first, but you know, considering the fact that Cody had a very big risk of going down while Snowy was still yellow, Cody did an amazing job there. And if they're able to maintain that kind of play style where they're able to get a lot of damage while not taking much, as soon as I say that, Snowy just gets insane gauntlet strings out of nowhere. Is that the adaptation?
And again, I love the GC neutralize after the neutralize because A, it's either going to combo, or B, it's going to be able to catch up on any dodges. Cody, though, going to be quickly cleaning up that stock with the recovery. Super well placed, super well timed. Now Snowy able to get a neutral in. Alright, picking up gauntlets once again. What's going to be the play? What's going to be the move?
Playing very patiently here, trying to get any form of additional damage. Snowy is playing this stock so well so far, being untouched. Cody is unable to break this bubble. Snowy gets the dodge read as well, building up the damage. Side 6 coming out, weapon throw, not going to connect, not committing to the off stage, doesn't need to. Gonna pick up the axe and go for this here.
And
Snowy,
all of a sudden,
has a stock lead.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's slowly falling apart for Cody. Snowy now with gauntlets on hand once again, tries to go for a bit of a denial, goes for the neutral pickup. Cody now just not able to keep Snowy out of their space, just needs to get some, but Snowy keeps on rushing in, breaking in. Not going to be getting the neutral either. Cody is looking a little bit lost.
Oh my god, Snowy is just putting on a show of how to play gauntlets in advantage state so far, adding on so much damage onto Cody Travis. It's looking helpless at this point. Gets the read as well. A 2-stock for the game 5. Snowy gets it.
Something switched. Something shifted inside of Snowy that last game. Those last 2 stocks, especially Polly. Snowy, all of a sudden, just found all of the right answers. Just found whiff punish after whiff punish. Cody, it just seemed like they were swinging at nothing, hitting the air in front of them. And Snowy just mixed up their movements so much. Up until that moment, all of those, ideas that Cody was going for would have connected. But Snowy, dashing back a little.